Alright, welcome everyone to Tabletop Tuesday, where we nerds basically talk about some weird gaming shit and all that stuff. Normally, we usually try to keep it positive, we try to be friendly, happy, all that jazz. Today, we are not getting so lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
cause... Go ahead, Gamera.
I was gonna say it's hard to be happy when you're talking about certain companies.
Yeah. Oh man, this is gonna be gnarly. So we are gonna talk about some minor things first to give people a chance to get in here. Um,
Yeah,
so there is that, but we are trying to spread awareness about this problem because, oh dear gods, is it bad? Like, oh Nelly,
yeah.
oh my gods, like what when Gamera brought up this topic yesterday, okay, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll have some fun poking some fun at some gaming companies. We'll get a laugh out of it. It'll be fun. Then I did research.
Yeah.
And we discovered something that's not being talked about, and oh my god.
I have to think that it's going to blow up more.
I
Um,
I really hope it does, because this is terrible, dude.
yeah, I'm right there with you.
Alright. So let me get some announcements done before we get into the thick of things. I do have sponsors. They are down below. It's Shockbite Gaming Servers. If you click the link, I get a little bit of money, and they have a ton of gaming servers they cover. Second one is W Energy Drinks. If you use the code RubyMadHatter, you get 10% off. I get credit for your purchase, and it helps me out. That's what I want to cover. All right. So let's talk about some of the not so screwed up fuck ups,
Sure.
and then we can go from there to the really bad thing we want to talk about today.
Okay, so you want to start with maybe some high-level discussion of Baldur's Gate 3 and what it's done for the industry. Neither of us have played it, so we're not talking about gameplay, but just like
What the
how it's
company,
kind of,
yeah,
yeah,
what the company has done and how they behaved and how that's drastically pointed out some flaws in the industry.
yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, you want to kick things off?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. All right, so Baldur's Gate, Vital. Hey, what's good, my dude? Oh, I'm doing great. We're going to be getting into some wonderful discussions about gaming, some of the companies, their screw ups, and a major screw up that's happening. We're going to get into that about, I want to say, about the 8 o'clock mark, unless we get to it sooner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just joined the Oasis, and I'm checking people out right now. Awesome. Hey, Chris, how you going? All right. So, Baldur's Gate 3 has decided that they took, what, 5 years to make the thing?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say it was a minimum of 3 years, but I think it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, from what
Um,
well, I heard 5.
yeah,
That's what I heard. It took them 5 years to make the game. They have included none of the modern day gaming bullshit. Like, none
yeah.
of it. There's
No
no
microtransactions.
Yeah, no
Very important.
microtransactions, no loot boxes, no day one DLC, no season passes. None of that. They just
Yeah,
made a kick-ass single-player game.
yeah. Kick-ass single-player, story-driven RPG, and we have not seen one of those in a while.
Baldur's Gate 3, is it I'm going to see if it's multiplayer. It might
You know
be.
what? I have no idea, but
It
there
is.
is a okay.
It
There
is.
is a strong single-player storyline. That is like
Um,
they did that first.
uh, it is multiplayer co-op.
Nice.
So it is multiplayer. Yes. It supports 4 parties. Nice. Okay. So we know it's multiplayer. All right. But when we mentioned that it doesn't do all that shit, several companies have come out and spoken out that they're not enjoying being held to the standard that Baldur's Gate is now set. All right. Now,
Hmm.
would you say it's worth buying? I was to buy Baldur's Gate and Remnant 2. I can only afford one. Which one do you say is more worth? Remnant 2 is pretty good. I would say Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely worth the purchase. From everything I've read, everything I've seen, it is the most highly rated game on Steam, both numbers and percentage-wise right now.
Right. It had like 800,000 simultaneous players the other day. Just absolutely incredible numbers.
Yeah, and like the reviews are just insane. Both standard people review numbers and professional reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how tone deaf BG3 exists. Gamers, this is great. Are big studios queuing in on how they're ruining gaming? Big studios, no. Yeah, the companies in particular, there are 3 that spoke out against it. Now, they didn't speak out like directly against it, but they made comments that they don't appreciate being held to that standard.
Yeah.
Sorry, 4 now. I've just found a 4th. All right. So we have the least bad of the 4, Epic. Epic has commented that they do not appreciate being held to that standard, especially with games like Fortnite and other things, saying they feel that the games they release are not the same category as Baldur's Gate and shouldn't be held to the same standard. I can sort of agree with that, because Fortnite is a free-to-play game.
Sure.
And
I don't think anybody's expecting, Fortnite to have a rich single-player story mode.
True. Can't stand their platform. Trust me, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Epic is terrible. I'm Epic hater. No, trust me. I don't blame people for hating Epic. I really don't. I have it just so I can collect free games every now and then. But other than that, I really don't buy anything on it. Yeah, but Epic's argument is, we've already ruined it. Let us keep ruining it. The thing is, Wizen, this is where I have a statement. If a game is free to play, I'm okay if it has microtransactions, because the game company... Thank you, Chaotic Kitty, for the Bullet Fam check-in. The game company has to make money somehow. Alright? So, microtransactions are fine if they're done ethically, and they don't really impact the game that much. Or like, if they're mostly cosmetic, I'm fine with that. When we're talking about unethical microtransactions, and it's still free to play, I'm going to look straight at you, EA, and Dungeon Keeper 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Facebook freemium bullshit really was not fun. Another game that was really bad about being a free-to-play game, but the microtransactions were hell. I wouldn't say game, I'd say gaming company. Zynga.
Yeah.
Zynga was terribly bad at it. Oh, boy. What about skin trading and gambling? There's a whole dark world behind virtual goods, a real-life value. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no. Skin trading, gambling, no. Those should not be permitted. Like, I like how TF2 kind of does it, where you can use Steam currency to do it. But you can't ever transfer money to it. And hell, some of the skin hat stuff you get from TF2 is not tradable. Like, not everything is tradable, but some things are.
Matrix dinner!
Right.
So,
it sort of harkens back to me, if you remember, Diablo 3 on launch had the real money auction house, and Blizzard backpedaled so fast on that because people were just, abusing the hell out of it.
And I'll give you, so microtransactions can be done horribly wrong. Loot boxes are the same way. Most of the time, I do not see a viable reason for a loot box. There are some games that are built on that are not terrible pieces of shit, but those are few and far between.
Yeah.
Hey, Kellen.
I mean, just look at you. You look like the oasis to some very, very thirsty travelers.
That metaphor makes me uncomfortable.
Thank you for the check-ins, Kellen. How are you? We are doing great. We are talking about recent screw-ups of gaming companies today. So it's not normally our happy topic, but we do have a major discussion that needs to occur, and I want to give people time to get here. So that's why we're kind of slightly holding off on it. But if you stick around, we are going to talk about something involving hacking.
Yeah.
All right, it's a major hacking problem.
Okay, I pick taco bowls, and they both go no.
Absolutely.
Child, go elsewhere.
My
All right.
computer said I could do chat.
So another thing that we have to take into consideration, like I said, was loot boxes. All right,
Danny, go eat dinner.
loot boxes are bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Daniel Patrick.
One, I'm not a fan. Two, they've been so heavily abused as of recent.
Yeah, and a lot of countries have rightly, I think, started regulating them as gambling.
Right. All right, so here's the kicker. Let's talk about microtransaction first, and let's go into a little bit of a history lesson here, because this is going to get fun for you guys. Most people seem to think that microtransactions started around Oblivion. Oblivion or The Sims 2, or like maybe some sort of Facebook game, or the most egregious example that a lot of people come to remember is FIFA 09. Alright? Horse armor is the line I've heard.
traveler.
Yep. Welcome, non-Baroneer King, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern. But it will surprise you all to know that microtransactions came into existence in 1990.
Yeah, that when you told me about that, wow.
Yeah. So the game was called, it was an arcade game called Double Dragon 3 The Rosetta Stone, where you could insert additional coins into the machine to purchase upgrades, power-up, health, weapons, special moves, and extra player characters. Hey, COD Maverick! We're having a wonderful discussion about game company screw-ups.
I love that they effectively had DLC before we even had downloads.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Alright, so, but microtransactions usually stuck to either arcade games or free-to-play games. Never saw one. Spent all my quarters in Double Dragon Machine in a Chinese food restaurant. Yeah, I did the same thing in a Pizza Hut. But mostly it stuck to like arcade games and free-to-play games. Those are what they usually stuck with. And so you would think, okay, that's not terrible, it's not great, but hey.
Could be worse.
For Cold War and older at least.
Leave it alone.
Someone's actually saying they've been fixed, and I know they haven't. So we'll have to go into that.
Someone's saying what has been fixed?
The hacking issue has been fixed, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
not according to the latest available information we've seen.
Yeah, no, everything we've seen in the IT field says, no, it's still there. It's just harder to do.
No, I made dinner. Eat.
Sorry for the noise in the background.
I made taco bowls. Eat.
So, let's fast forward a little bit to 2006, where most, as I pointed out earlier, the horse armor in Elder Scrolls Oblivion is one of the first examples of microtransactions in a already paid game. So we have that. Where is it? And the game that is still known for the microtransaction debacle, for the most part, is the one we all know and hate, Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2. We all remember that. Thank you for the check-in, Maverick. God damn it.
Never gets old.
That is microtransactions. Loot boxes mostly stayed in games like MapleStory, some Zynga games, nothing too crazy, until FIFA. Now, there are some games that are online, there are MMOs that have loot boxes, and that's Star Trek Online and Lord of the Rings Online. But those are both free-to-play games. But FIFA 09 was the first one to throw it into their paid game. So EA being a douchebag all the way to 2009.
I mean, somebody had to be an innovator in the douchebag space.
Yeah, submodel and a purchase model. Yeah, definitely. All right, so now the biggest one for microtransactions that makes the most money right now is Fortnite. Fortnite's the one making a ton of money, but Blizzard has also gotten into the wonderful microtransaction market.
Yep.
With more than just Overwatch. Like, a lot of people assume, yeah, it's just Overwatch. You're going to be da-da-da. Nah, no, it's more than that.
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4 and World of Warcraft has microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
So, dear gods. All right, Chaotic Kitty, lurk away, lurk away. All right. So, why don't you go into what you know, and then I'll be adding some more to it.
All right. I mean, so just to back up and talk about, like, specifically about, like, Diablo 4, just like almost any game that seems to come out from a AAA studio these days, they have decided that, okay, you're going to pay $70 for the game, you're going to pay us $10 or $15 for a season pass or something. Well, we're also going to sell you all these skins and cosmetics, but because they know that there are people out there that are susceptible to that gotta get it all tactic, that completionist urge, and they will just try to milk people dry. Like $20 to make your character look different. And the counter argument is, well, nobody has to buy that. You can enjoy the game without it. And it's like, but there are people who legitimately, like, this is psychologically exploiting their vulnerabilities. So it's not just an argument to say, well, they don't have to. So for some people, they kind of do. And they really, there really needs to be more safeguards. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's craziness. Like, because there are some groups out there that, like, let's be brutally honest, loot boxes are gambling.
Yeah.
We can't say that they're not. Just as much as EA wants to say they are surprise mechanics. God, that just makes me want to, like, just put my hand in my head, like my head in my hands and just shake my head. I made a character in ESO on the wrong alliance, and I made progress before I learned that matter for PvP. Cost $25 to change alliance. See, that is not as bad. I would prefer it to be a slightly cheaper cost, because it does cost money for them to have someone do that shift for you.
I mean, but think about it. That's because they designed the game in such a way that they had to have someone manually do that for you. They could have very easily designed the game in a way that it wasn't that big a deal.
You know, you're true. That's right. I didn't think of that. I just know most MMOs don't have that built in. They want people to be picking their side and very proud of their side and fight for their side.
Yeah, because that increases the investment, makes you more likely to spend money on stuff.
No, and nobody made it clear to me I was stopping myself from playing with my friends. That's shitty.
Yeah.
That is shitty.
I will say, just to kind of give a positive example, I will love City of Heroes forever, because once they introduced, like, City of Villains and stuff, they made it missions for you. You complete this mission and you switch sides. You've gone from a hero to a villain or a villain to a hero.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not terrible. I haven't played City of Heroes, and I kind of wish I did. I did DC Universe Online and Champions Online.
Yep.
I will say when it came to DC Universe Online, I liked the game, but the end game was just terrible. It was fun to play and build up a character and do some cool stuff, but when you got to the end of the game, you're like, well, why do I care now?
Yeah.
It just, everything was way too grindy. With Champions Online, the end game was amazing, but I had no clue what the hell was going on with the story. Like, they did not explain the story very well at all.
Sure.
But I'll give you one example where microtransactions are terrible. Star Trek Online. The way they work it is you have 3 options for currency. You have the easy in-game currency. I'm trying so hard.
One of these days, you're actually going to like poop yourself on stream.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That would be messy. All right. But they also have a rare currency called dilithium. And there's the fireball. And then they have the paid currency, which is called Zen. You can trade the rare currency dilithium for Zen.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a way to earn that money. Paid currency.
Yeah.
So it works out. And the same thing with Star Trek Online's loot boxes. They give you some really cool stuff. They're really helpful. But you don't need the loot boxes to play the game.
Right.
And I feel like that's an important thing to do. That's very important. I had a couple of Discords get on my cases like, you're advertising your stream in the wrong channel. It's like, but they all left it for the most part except for one. Because they said, yeah, this is really important to talk about and we need to hear this. So there is that. I'm trying. You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, chopping onions?
Yeah.
Okay. Onions are stinging her.
Yep.
But, so,
They make you cry.
there are other companies. I mentioned Epic as one of the companies that complained, but sort of.
Yep.
Go eat.
There are 3 others. And I have a funny feeling most of the audience is going to figure out which 3 they are before I even get to them. So let's start with the, king of the douchebags, EA. EA complained about it.
Mm-hmm.
They stated that the amount of work they put into games, it would not be fair to their workers to make less money because the company would make less money because of not having access to the microtransactions.
It wouldn't be fair to our workers. How would we screw them over as efficiently?
Yeah, as efficiently. It's like, what? Hey, little legs, how's it going? I hope you're having a great night.
Mama, you don't know I can fly. Eat your dinner
So,
right
like,
now.
EA's response was very questionable to me.
But very on brand for EA.
Yeah, it is on brand for EA. I will give them that. Yeah, Swifty. I thought it was get wrecked, but yeah, that works too. Now, EA didn't really go into it much more than that. It was just very much like, hey, we don't want to be held to the standard. That's not fair to us. This is why. Not really much more was given about that. They were not the most vocal about it. All right. So we've talked about Epic. We've talked about EA.
Assets in the air.
There's 2 more left. All right. One of them being Activision.
Our favorite.
Our favorite. Activision was very vocal about it, and their child company was also vocal about it, which was Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to count them as one company, you can. I can count them as 2 companies. That's fine too, because they both made a statement. All right. Now this is coming from a company, Activision Blizzard, last year made $5.6 billion with a B from microtransactions last year alone.
You need some veggies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they have a vested interest in making the idea of microtransactions stick around forever.
This is mommy stuff. No, eat your dinner.
So they don't want that to go away.
Alone and eat your damn
Yep.
dinner.
Their statement was along the lines of, they kind of copied a little bit of a EA, saying it wouldn't be fair to their workers, they wouldn't make as much money, so they couldn't pay their workers as much money. So, fun times like that.
Sour cream. You can't eat sour cream.
Um,
Not eat.
with that being said, they also added into the fact that it goes, they said it is dangerous to compare companies if they don't make similar games.
Do not spread it. Eat your damn dinner.
This is coming from Blizzard Activision, the guys who made Diablo, the guys who made StarCraft.
Uh-huh.
You know, games that are known for single-player story. And they're saying they don't make the same games as, was it Larian Studios or something?
Larian.
Larian Studios.
A good cup of whites of it, and then you can pull up on and go to bed. Because it's late.
Yeah. So,
Well,
it's a little weird that they're saying that when it's like, dude, you guys literally made your money and your start of your company off of single-player story games.
mm-hmm.
Like, what is going on? I want to go up to like Blizzard Activision and be like, guys, what drugs are you on, and why are you not sharing with the rest of the class?
Because they charge you extra for each snort.
Apparently.
You guys got to stay
You
up
get a
late
drugged loot
today.
box with a random assortment of chemicals.
Hey, Ruby, Matt Harris, stopping. How was your day? My day was okay.
Now eat.
We are having a wonderful discussion about screw-ups that gaming companies have made. We're going over the little smaller things first before we go with the big heavy topic that we're going to be discussing. I want to give people some time to get in. Actually, here shortly, I would say somewhere between the next 3 minutes to 8 o'clock, we'll be talking about that. Because there's some, how do I put this? A lot of information we're going to have to go over so that people understand exactly how bad this is. And that some people seem to think the problem's already been solved, which it hasn't.
Yeah.
I know Blizzard Activision says it's been solved, and so does Steam, but IT professionals, including professionals in the cybersecurity field, have all stated, no, it hasn't been fixed. You just made it slightly more difficult.
Right, and you know, they fixed a much bigger problem that was related, and they're like, okay, it's all fixed. No.
No, it's still there.
Still there, we promise.
It's a major issue. In fact, why don't we start going into that, actually?
Are you going to eat dinner or not?
Sure.
Alright. So, most of the people who have played video games for any length of time, we have all seen Call of Duty. Most of us have at least touched it once.
Go eat.
Probably for you, Gamera, you might have touched a case, gone, and thrown it away. I mean, I've seen gameplay. I've never played it myself. Yeah, I am very familiar with the genre,
Eat dinner.
but yeah, I'm not a Call of Duty guy.
All right.
You need to eat.
So, Call of Duty, when it first got into multiplayer online, which is what Call of Duty is famous for now,
Yep.
it was a P2P connection to be able to play with other people, aka P2P standing for peer-to-peer connection. The best way to describe this, for those who are not technologically savvy, imagine you building a tunnel under your house.
Eat.
And you build that tunnel to your friend's house. And you have to, like, make sure that it's secure, so you put doors in place.
Danny.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you.
Oh, the
Hear the
lamentation.
lamentation of the women.
Yes, Conan, we are going to be crushing our enemies.
No.
So, you have to make sure the tunnel's secure, so you have to put, like, doors
Eat.
in the way.
No.
You have to secure the doors, you have to put bodyguards on the doors, you have to put locks on the doors, all this jazz, alright? This is all the security you're putting into place. Conan missed one. Here. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Daniel, for the check-in. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know, P2P is a decent option for multiplayer games because, one, the company making the game does not have to pay to maintain, like, online servers where players can get together and play. It also means, you know, an advantage for the players that, hey, you know, there's no online servers to shut down and make my game into a disc, or the CD for my game into, like, a coaster.
Not to mention, it's less susceptible to DDoS, targeted DDoS.
Well, in a way it is, and in a way it isn't.
Okay, let me rephrase that. The server,
No.
someone else's game could be DDoSed, yours cannot, and you would still be okay in a P2P versus a dedicated server.
Sure.
All right.
So yeah, you've got your direct connection. This allows you to play with your friends specifically. It's all cool and everything, but the downside is, basically, you are establishing this connection to another person. Do you trust that person? Is that person trying anything malicious? You don't know. You're kind of dependent on the software you're using to establish the tunnel. To maintain reasonable levels of security.
Right.
And that is a downside. It's a big downside.
Because with P2P, especially if you're doing like massively online games, like say a massive Call of Duty Battlefield thing, you don't know who you're connecting to.
No, I mean, I don't know how big Call of Duty teams get, but, everybody who's in that lobby with you could potentially make a connection to your PC. They have that tunnel that, if it's not well maintained, if it's not secured, they have a pathway to get at your PC.
Now, you would think, okay, well, maybe during the P2P connection, I can secure it, and then once I'm done with my game, I just turn it off. It doesn't need resources, so on and so forth. Here's the problem with the P2P connection. People can institute what's called a RAT program, or otherwise known as Remote Access Trojan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, most gamers know what a Trojan is, but if you don't, it's a type of virus that gives someone a backdoor into your computer.
Danny,
all right.
Also a brand of condoms, but gamers might be less familiar with that.
Oh!
I'm gonna beat you.
Ouch! Ouch. All right. Moving on. Damn.
I had to. It was right there.
All right, Daryl. Hey, buddy. How are you doing? I'm doing fine, man. We are about to get into some IT shenanigans that we're going to be educating some people, stuff like that.
This is a smoothie cue.
Thank you for the check-in.
Real gamers pull out.
Oh, God. Okay. So, here's the problem. When someone institutes a RAT program into your computer, a remote access terminal program, they get access to your computer later, at any point. All right?
Yeah.
This allows them to steal your personal information, your credit cards, your social, anything your computer's ever hooked to. They can even get like a full-on internet history off your computer that you are trying to keep private. All right? Anything your computer has touched, they would basically get access to.
Sit on that.
All right? And a lot of people are like, oh, they're probably sitting there going right now, going, oh, that seems a bit much. I think that's, you're overplaying this. I'm like, no, you do not understand. It is that bad.
It's not yours. Eat your dinner.
Like,
No.
it is very much anything these guys, you have ever accessed on that computer, these guys can get.
Potentially, it depends on what's actually still stored there. They can look into your browser cache. They can look for anything that you save traces of. It's not a guarantee, and it's not something that just Joe Schmo is going to do. These are, hackers that have experience. So we don't want to necessarily be alarmist, like, oh my God, all your data is unsafe because you played Call of Duty once. No, but there are things that you need to be aware of so you can protect yourself against them.
Yeah. And that's the thing we're trying to get at, is like, the people we are dealing with when we're talking about this are professionals. All right? These guys are basically, they take this to an extremely professional level of getting your information. All right? So, keep that in mind. Watch a video today where someone hacked a network based on a discarded smartphone.
Hi.
Rose.
Hi.
Yeah, Rose, we're talking about something important. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Rose, go.
This is not a conversation that you need to be part of.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, whatever your smart bulb was linked to, they could get access to that. I mean, that's one example. But in this case, we're talking about these people getting access to it. Now, some of these hackers that are on Call of Duty, because this is the game that we're talking about, are that level.
You have to eat some of the rice and a little
And this has been a consistent problem for Call of Duty since 2012. All right? So it's been around that long. All right? And a lot of people are like, okay, so they've had to have fixed it by now. No.
Yeah.
No, they haven't.
So yeah, the problem is, in a nutshell, that a lot of the older Call of Duty games, which are still sold on a regular basis, you can still buy them new on Steam, have older code and technology marches on. So you have technology for those earlier games that didn't have dedicated servers, that had the P2P tunnels, and it's just not up to snuff. Like, hackers have moved way past that, and the engine of the games itself has some issues.
Yeah, also lends itself to these rat attacks.
Right. I mean, just generally speaking, you want to keep your software up to date because that's how you stay up to date and prevent yourself from being easily hacked. And these games dating back to, 10, 15 years ago, they're still available. People still play them, but they're not updating the underlying code.
No.
That's still 15-year-old netcode.
What makes it even worse, like, I'm going to pull this up on Steam right now. God dang it.
Transportation underway.
Call of Duty. Okay, let's look up all the Call of Duty games, alright? Black Ops 3 is $60. Black Ops 1 is $40. Black Ops 2 is $60. Modern Warfare is $60. Black Ops Cold War is $60. Call of Duty World War II, $60. Vanguard, $60. Ghosts, $60. Ghosts has been out since 2014. Same with Black Ops 2. And they're still being sold for full price.
Yep.
Asset transported.
Modern Warfare 2, 2022. Let's see. Call of Duty 1 and 2 is $20. Modern Warfare 3 is $40. Like, good God.
Commencing
Yeah.
asset transit.
So these games are out there for purchase. They're on Steam. They are being sold
Pretty
with
much at
no
full price.
discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, for pretty much full price. And nobody's being warned, hey, there are real exposed security risks here that have been exploited by hackers in the wild. We saw a video today discussing this topic that actually had a recording from a streamer who got hacked while streaming.
Yeah, he was getting footage for the video he was about to discuss, and they literally hacked him live on stream. Like, damn. Sorry, continue.
No, and I think you and I were talking about different ones. You're talking about the dude who, he was in a lobby with some, friends, and apparently someone had hacked somebody in that. I'm talking about this other streamer, the unrelated one, who was just like a normal Call of Duty streamer, and basically he got hacked, and someone forcibly closed him out of his game. Fortunately, It didn't go past that, but yeah, someone was able to look at a streamer and go, well, I've got your IP address, I've got your ID, that's all I need.
Yeah. It's wild that that's still a thing. Now,
Right.
I do want to say there was another hacking issue recently. And someone in DC Fam pointed that out. And they, I think it was DC Fam. No, it might have been Oasis. Let me see who it was. It was someone who pointed out, was like, oh, this problem's already been solved, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, it hasn't. It might be Smurf. I'm trying to remember who it was. There's the Call of Duty. No. Wasn't DC Fam. Was it Bullet? I'm trying to remember where I saw it.
Asset being transported.
Is your pillow on?
Nope. It's got to be Krunk's Corner then.
Put it on.
Yeah, Mr. Noise HD goes, I know what issues you're talking about. These have been fixed for Cold War and older at least. And I'm like, no, it hasn't.
No,
No, there was a more serious hacking issue that had been exposed recently. That literally all it took, you didn't even have to go into a game with somebody. Basically, you just had to be in the lobby with them, and it allowed you to install malware on their computer.
If you don't want to eat it,
Fedorian
go to bed.
scree! Crash! I have arrived.
You don't want
So-
to eat, go to
They
bed.
fixed
I
that
think-
one.
Yeah, they fixed that one. It was huge. It would have been a like nightmare for EA,
Eat dinner, go to bed.
or not EA, Activision.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, I'm going to get those two mixed up because they're both
Eat dinner,
equally
Douche.
crappy.
go to bed.
Yeah, they're both equally
You
crappy.
heard
Yeah, I
me.
was gonna say.
But yeah, they basically fixed that one because otherwise it would have just been such a huge black eye. It probably would have driven everyone away from their games in general. At a certain point, your reputation for lax security starts to actually affect the bottom line.
Oh yeah,
You keep improving the park, and
yeah, and oh my God, it's
that's a
bad.
bonus
But
for
this
us all,
this whole
including me.
rat
And
issue
you, of course.
has not been fixed since 2012. It still hasn't been fixed. Now, mind you, in the newer COD games, it is significantly more difficult to do.
Right. And there are some games on particular versions of the engine that don't have known exploits. There are at least a few of them.
Bring me the cup.
And theoretically, they are moving forward using only that new version of the engine. So on a go-forward basis, the security situation is going to improve, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah. So, like, Warzone will be better. Things of that nature. So there is going to be improvement, and that's what we want to see for IT security is improvement. We
Yes.
want to see things get better. But
Go to
Science is
bed.
about
they still
seeking
haven't even
knowledge.
acknowledged
The
it.
more objectives you
Right.
successfully
The
accomplish,
other
the
exploits that
better
we're
our
talking about
understanding of the dinosaurs.
have not
But I
been
learned something
acknowledged by
about you as well.
Activision. They're just kind of out there. There aren't warnings on the Steam pages. You could go pay $60 for a 10-year-old Call of Duty game and then go into a lobby and get hacked.
Yeah.
And then I think the icing on the crap cake, there were fan-made efforts to try and make clients to fix these issues, and in many cases, Activision sent them cease and desists.
Now, the games they targeted, or the clients they targeted, focused heavily on games that had microtransactions and loot boxes.
Yes, that was the video maker's theory. Like it was like maybe it's because these particular games were so microtransaction heavy
Credit card information.
that they viewed these other clients as, you know, taking money away from them.
And
But-
I would agree on that.
And that's fine, but then do something to fix the problem, or at least warn people about the problem.
Yeah, because, like, for example, I think it was a Plutonium was the client.
Plutonium's the one that's still around.
Yeah, it's the one that's still around. And they do the games that don't have the microtransactions in them. But, like, Boy is gone. The other two clients, I cannot remember their names. They're gone, too, because they got cease and desists. I mean, dang. Enzo fireballed the tavern. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Enzo. How you doing, buddy? But either way, it's like, this is a major problem. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be resolved. And Activision doesn't seem like it has an interest in doing it.
No.
And yet, they're sitting here almost complaining that they're being held to the same standard as a smaller, not even AAA company.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, good God, it's like, let me get this straight. AAA, you have more money than you need to make these games by a large margin.
And you still can't fix this.
And you can't even keep up with a company that is even half your size.
I think Larian, relative to Activision Blizzard, is like maybe even a tenth their size.
Yeah, I know Larian is not that big.
They're like, I think 400 people was the figure I heard.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of stupid. And this problem has been persistent since 2012. And they've done nothing to solve it. And even then, they've gotten rid of people that do cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically makes me wonder, like, guys, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I do not understand what the, you know, the thought process is here, because you guys are sitting there goofing off and not doing your job.
Yeah, and what kills me is that, you know, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, I really think that this is a liability for them. If someone gets a major loss of money because of an exploit that Activision knows about and has not fixed, that is potentially exposing them to a lawsuit. And if one gets through, I foresee, you know, a class action floodgate. Now, will the lawsuit win? I don't know, but it could cost them quite a bit of money to defend that. So I know why they don't take the games off the market, because they're still making money for them. I kind of know why they don't slap a warning on them, because they're worried people will stop buying them and they'll make less money. And then the other option is, you know, fix them.
And that costs money.
And that costs money. So really it boils down to they have a financial incentive to keep letting this happen until the downside, the financial downside of it happening is more expensive. That's kind of how our society functions, like with lawsuits and shit. You know, you make it cost more to do the bad thing than it does to do the good thing. And I really, you know, not to sound all, you know, communist or socialist here, I blame capitalism, because they are a publicly traded company that is under constant pressure, not just to make profits every year, but to make increasing profits every year. And that attempt to make perpetual growth is what is killing us, because every company that is not growing is viewed as a failure, and that is stupid.
I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you.
No.
Daryl, did the FBI open up as soon as, like, right after you said, like, I'm not trying to sound communist or socialist? It's like, oh my god.
Well timed.
Yeah, it's great timing there. Someone clip that. Oh my god. I'm not great at clipping things. Someone clip that. That's worth a clip. Oh, another dead dino. Who died? Oh, Nasutops. Okay. Oh, excuse me.
I know why I do this to myself, but that doesn't mean I have to like this part of it.
Yeah, I know. Existence is finite. Everything about existence is finite. All other arguments aside, the simple fact is incompatible with infinite growth that capitalism requires. Yeah, you can't have infinite growth. Eventually,
You're gonna cap out.
you're going to hit a limit.
Yeah.
Look at the Instapot debacle currently.
Yeah.
Makers are going out of business.
Yep. The Instapots are going out of business.
And it's not even so much that they have a bad product, it's that you can only sell so many.
Yeah, especially if it lasts a while.
Right. Yeah, I actually saw something about that a couple of weeks ago. Like, their core product, the Instapot, was great, and it lasts a long time, and everybody loves it. But then they were under pressure to just keep growing and making other things, and it really was just like, no, we can't. We're making good profit at this, but their investors put pressure on them. So, and not to necessarily bring it back home, but that same kind of perpetual growth pressure is kind of what got WVU where it is.
Yes, the university in the area where we live. Because they wanted to infinitely grow, and they had that mindset, and the president of the university said, we could totally do this. Do you remember how many students he said we were supposed to have by 2020?
I do. There was an actual projection for the from the actual, like, people responsible for crunching the numbers, and they're like, yeah, we could probably hit like I forget what it was. It was 20-some thousand by 2020. And then he comes in and goes, no, we're going to have 35,000.
Yeah, 35, 40,000, something like that. It was...
Yeah, it was 35 or 40,000. And that number was never on the table by anybody who knew what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah.
He made that up out of whole cloth.
And we here in West Virginia are suffering because of that screw-up.
Yep.
Yeah, it is terrible. But yeah, it is wild what is going on. It's just like, how can this be a thing?
How can you be this stupid?
Yeah.
Change is coming, and you've helped to facilitate it with your excellent work.
Ooh, I hit a rich vein of silver.
All right. Yeah, I'll request a new contract, 100,000. Expedition time.
While we've worked with less in the past, for this particular dinosaur, we'll need a genome that hits the target.
Yeah, Chronosaurus. We're gonna go with you, buddy. All right. When Mars president during our graduation said how proud he was to continue our education. What? Because he had control of business people thinking that making money meant they knew how to manage population needs instead of the entire population gets managed. No, I love that line. It's like the alma mater is like, during graduation, I will be proud and ready to continue your education. We're leaving, Bal. The door is that way.
Yeah, you know, trying to get you to stay for the extended degree options and whatnot. Totally sounds plausible to me.
I saw one video, it was a TikTok a while back, and he talked about different forms of government in one sentence. It was meant as a joke.
Right.
The one for capitalism is like, oh, we notice you need water to survive. Have you tried deluxe water without the microplastic? It's like, oh, God. My favorite one, though, for that clip was fascism. It made me laugh so hard, and it shouldn't have. It was like, citizens, are you ready to do terrible things but feel good about it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's horribly wrong, but accurate. Oh,
yeah.
It's the unleaded fuel all over again. Let us charge you more to remove the lead that we put there in the first place.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, the technology of the combustion engine was in an earlier era such that the lead in the gasoline actually, I think it was a lubricating effect, so they actually wanted it there. There are some older cars that really do not like unleaded gasoline. However, you know, they should have gotten to that sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it might be the stabilizer. It might be a stabilizer. It might not be a lubricant. It might be a stabilizer. You might be right.
Yeah.
I honestly am not 100% sure on that score. There was a reason it was there, and you know, yeah, I'm very glad we don't use it anymore. But it feels like maybe we should have gotten there a little sooner. Yeah, and I'm not necessarily blaming the world for using asbestos for years. However, we did use it for decades past the point where we knew, hey, this isn't good for people. They're going to die.
Fuck it, it's cheap.
Let's stop. People are cheaper than using something else.
Hey,
and that is the most toxic, horrible mindset.
You gotta remember, that's what the Russian military had in its mindset for most of World War II. Throw enough people at it, they'll run out of bullets.
Yeah, it's great that they don't have that same attitude anymore.
Or is it just a gouge at the pump? I don't know.
I mean, I will say this: gas prices are higher now relative to the actual price of oil, than they were in the past. So something in the fundamentals has changed, and I think it is companies that are under pressure to have higher profit margins.
Yeah. Speaking of, all kinds of fucky-wucky shit, we also have companies that do horrifying things and somehow barely get punished.
Yeah.
To give you one great example, let us continue the bashing train of Activision Blizzard and talk about the sexual assault cases.
Yeah.
If some of us remember those from Blizzard. Where
some of those are still being
litigated.
The lawsuits are still in progress.
Still in progress. Yes. Blizzard Activision had employees crawling under the cubicles of women to look up their skirt. They had at one point one woman that they hydrate. You want to go? You want to talk about the woman who committed self-harm because of what happened to her?
I do not remember the specifics of the story well enough to do it justice, so I will.
All right.
I will let you tackle it after your hydrate.
After my hydrate. Yep. All right. So what happened was this poor woman worked for Blizzard. How ignorant does management have to be to allow things to degrade that far? Hey, gotta go, but drink water before I go. I did drink.
Velociraptor trainer. He believes in hands-on work with these animals. So if you need anything from him, I suggest you get it now.
Man, I'm gonna have to put stairs in my mind.
All right. So, what I was about to talk about.
There are dog people and cat people, and then there's a
the woman who committed self-harm.
The woman who committed self-harm. She worked for Blizzard, and someone took a inappropriate picture of her. All right. And they started spreading it around the office. And, of course, an ad break starts as soon as I start talking about this.
Capitalism!
Bad, Daniel!
Whoops, tautology! God damn it. Yeah. We're about to cover something really heinous. And I will let the ad finish before I get into it.
That's probably smart.
Yeah. Oi. Oi, 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 oi. Alright. I need some more logistics people.
I need another iron pick.
I make my W at recommended strength, then use that to mix the orange one for one mouthful. Okay. I guess that works. We'll hire you. And then we need one more.
Go to bed, Danny!
Logistics person. Unrest. Cheaper incubation. All skills increased by 1. 7, 6. I guess I can go for you? Alright. Let's train you up. Really? Oh. Okay. I guess I can only give him 1 point. That's unfortunate. Research required. I thought there it is. Alright, we need more of that. Even watered down, that leaves me wired. Isn't that a good thing? I mean,
yeah,
how wired are we talking here, buddy?
Some people are more sensitive to caffeine and things.
Yeah. Alright.
Down I go.
Strong cup of tea wired. Okay.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a little jittery, but not too terrible.
Alright, let me get...
How goes the Jurassic stuff? Enzo, it's going great. I got 2 big pens right now. I also have a water pen that I've currently got going. Trying to keep the income up pretty high because I'm trying to get all the research done. Good for its promise there. Excellent. It stops your minor tremors. Cool. I'm glad. Glad for that. Shit, man. Alright. Yeah, I want to turn this into like one big area. That'll be fun. AP is here.
Nice rich vein of lead too.
All right, so we are back. Everybody's back. AP is back. Hey, AP. So AP, you missed a little statement. My question is, AP, do you, I doubt this, but do you play Call of Duty? Because if you do, I'm going to go over something. If you know someone who does heavily, I will go over it again real quickly. Like, we'll do a quick recap. AP's all about headshotting the noobs. Yeah, maybe with the band hammer. But I want to know. Alright. Call of Duty has a hacking problem. Apparently, back in the day, it had this major hacking problem that allowed people to access your computer even when you weren't playing the game. Because you would play the game, they would put a virus on your computer through the game, and you would get it, and then they would access your computer later, stealing information. Or controlling your computer.
Yep.
That problem started in 2012. It still has not been fixed.
No, they have at best made some efforts to fix the worst variations, but the older games basically just don't get their code touched unless it's something that Activision thinks will get them sued.
Yeah.
Very, very hard.
And the newer games are harder to do it on, but you can still do it. It still has the same flaw. It's just a little bit more difficult to access that flaw. Alright? And this is not coming just from me, not coming from just Gamera here. We are computer people, but there are actual cybersecurity experts who are pointing this out and going, this is a problem.
Yep.
So, it is not good.
Damn silverfish.
Yeah. We are also talking about all the other fuck-ups that they're doing. Yikes, I think my coworker's partner plays it, so I'll have to let her know. Is it on computer or is it also on consoles? Only PC.
Right. Yeah, it's the PC versions, and the very newest games, like the ones that have been released the last, apparently have been using an updated version of the engine. But like even stuff released as recently as 2020, some of those have this issue.
Yeah. The newest games, the issue is still there, but it's very, very difficult to get to.
Well, if you remember, that video said that one version of the engine had fixed it.
Okay, yeah, that's right. The one they use for Warzone.
I believe that is correct, yes.
Yeah, the one engine they use for Warzone has fixed the issue. But only for Warzone and the newest game.
En route to pick up the asset.
That's it.
Ow.
So
stop hitting me, zombie.
Brains. But we were also going over other companies' screw-ups or similar companies' screw-ups. We covered microtransactions. We covered loot boxes. And where they started and how they evolved. And we were just getting into the Blizzard Activision... the Blizzard sexual assault issue.
Yes.
To cover that. So, there was a woman who worked for Blizzard. Someone took an inappropriate picture of her. And they started spreading it around the office. And she got harassed so often that she had taken her own life. And that's part of this lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh boy. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is terrifyingly bad.
I certainly hope that if the Microsoft merger goes through, that Microsoft steps in and cleans up some of this crap, but who knows?
Yeah, that seems to be the main hope for a lot of people who are into some of the Blizzard and Activision stuff, but they hate what the company has become.
Yeah.
We love your games, but we hate you.
I'm going to be brutally honest. I am not a sports game fan, okay? Usually when I see a sports game, I'm more like, I'd rather do it with my friends in real life. And, yeah, we're not playing at a professional level, but fuck it, we're goofing off.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're going to do the total, shotgun play, whatever. And they're like, nah, man, we're just getting in a line and throwing a football. Like, that's about it.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy, but I get more enjoyment out of that. It's kind of the same way I feel about tabletop RPGs and streams of them. I don't enjoy listening to them consistently. I have to be in the right mood to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because I rather just play the TTRPG.
Right.
At least that's just my point of view on that.
Yeah.
I would kill to have people play NHL with online if that's a thing. Yes, but you have to deal with an EA game. Do you want to deal with EA's bullshit where they release a new hockey game every year? Because they do that.
It's the same damn game. We've slightly changed some of the players.
It's either the same game, but we slightly changed players, or we've removed things from the game and are now charging money to get them fucking back.
Oh, that's... yeah.
Because they done that shit with the Madden games.
Remember that cool feature last year? Would you like to have it back? Too goddamn bad.
No. Hey, you wanted that cool feature from last year? Awesome. Give us $20. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, just... wow.
Oh, yeah.
The practices are predatory. They need to be reined in. And honestly, that brings us back to the Baldur's Gate thing. Like, Baldur's Gate has completely said, no, we're not doing that crap to our audience. And I think that might be part of the reason that it's resonating with folks. Like, if it was just like, hey, these guys that are a way smaller studio on a way smaller budget managed to produce a way better game, what the hell's wrong with you? I don't think the major studios would even give a crap. But the fact that they did it without DLC, that's giving gamers something to go, huh, you mean we don't have to be saddled with this crappy DLC in every game that comes along? And, that I think is really threatening to the major studios who depend on this DLC to pad the ever-expanding profit margin.
Yeah. Wizen said, I need a career mode, I need a quick match mode, and they both need to be online with free team selection in case of quick match and multiplayer. Might be dreaming though. There's one game series out there, I cannot remember the name of the series. I know one is called Football Manager, and it's not run by EA, but it is not as quick accessible because they really go into the nitty-gritty simulation details of the game. So, you have to know your players. They have to have the right amount of rest. You have to have the right amount of food, ish. You have to make sure their nutrition is right. You have to make sure they're getting plenty of practice and exercise. And there's so much shit they just went into, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
That's too much for me. Yeah, too rich for my blood.
That's a nah for me, dog.
Where the hell is my green cord?
I don't know. Did you put it in our bedroom?
I don't know, but I needs it.
Okay.
That's the cable that has the tri...
Yeah, I know. I know, hon. So Blizzard's still in the middle of litigation for their sexual assault issues. That's still going down. Some of the executives that were around during that time and did nothing about it still have their jobs.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why you guys don't see me stream any Blizzard games, is because until they no longer have their jobs, I'm not touching them on stream. I will not be buying any of their games. I'll be not playing any of their games online. That's it.
Yeah.
And which hurts me because I have yet to play Diablo 3 or 4. And,
yeah,
I love the Diablo series.
I am very much a Diablo mark, but between Blizzard being Blizzard and the changes they've made to further monetize Diablo, I have just not bought for.
Yeah.
Like, it's got always online gameplay, which
fuck
it's very
that.
grindy. It's just not great.
You said I could read some chat?
You want to read some chat? Okay.
Maybe I should stick a NHL 55
95
95 and a
SNES emulator. Fedorian sweats in WoW. Yeah, not touching WoW.
Yay!
I used to be a big WoW person. Not touching it. Until Blizzard fixes their shit, I will never go back there. I'd rather play no MMO than go back to that.
Yeah.
Until it's fixed. Right now I'm playing 14 a lot. I love 14. 14's a great story-focused MMO. I'd highly recommend it. But there are days where I miss WoW. I fully admit it. But I know what I miss. It's not the game itself. It's the community of the guild I used to be a part of. I miss the old guild. And I know I'll never get that back, even if I go back to WoW.
Sure.
Found it.
Yeah, I miss the times I had back during Wrath of the Lich King. And I loved it to death. I tried Dragonflight when it was the word they were being bought by Microsoft. I have since let my sub lapse, but I did buy the expansion. That's your choice, man. I'm not going to fault anyone for playing a game that they enjoy, even if I don't agree with the company or the game or the developer or whatever.
Play what you want to play.
Play what you want to play, man. I get it. I'm not going to fault people for that. Like, I did the same thing when it came to Hogwarts Legacy. I did not play it. I did not buy it. But I didn't bitch at people who did. It's like, you get to make your own choice. You get to decide your own path. I am not here to hold a gun to your head saying, you have to play these games or you cannot play these games.
Right.
Where is my metal?
I didn't even freaking enjoy it. I never enjoy it. I'm desperate for an MMO, same as everyone else. Wizen, if you want a story-focused MMO that's fantasy, go 14. 14 is amazing for when it comes to a fantasy MMO. If you want a sci-fi MMO, Star Trek Online is pretty good. If you want a sci-fi one. There is also the Old Republic, the Star Wars one. I would recommend playing that until you hit Endgame, and then stop. Treat it like a possible cooperative single-player game. I'm hoping that makes sense. I know, Gamera, you recommend City of Heroes like for superheroes all the damn time.
Oh yeah, it's the best. Of course, you can't play it legitimately anymore, but there are fan-run servers. It is available. So
there is. All right, so you remember Double Dragon and all that shit back in the day?
Yeah.
All right. Would it interest you to play in a game that is fantasy, but also Double Dragon gameplay?
Like a fantasy beat 'em up?
Like a fantasy beat 'em up.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I enjoyed the D&D beat 'em ups.
Well, in this case, it's not a D&D one. It's more gothic.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up an image. Display capture. Here we go. All right. So the name of the game is called Rusty Hearts. All right. So this is what it looks like in town. When the image gets there.
Yeah.
I am missing a critical part of my pressure canner.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get it to play the video.
Hey everyone, it's free.
Okay, so this is Giant Bomb playing the game, and I'm
Okay.
gonna skip ahead a little bit to the in the fighting shit, if I can find it.
Woo! I almost jumped down into a huge ravine.
All right, here we go. Let me pause it for a second. Let it catch up. All right, you're gonna work. All right, so this is the gameplay right here. It's like you collect health and mana from dropped enemies. You go through doors, you enter rooms, and then you fight enemies and you do combos and shit. And
Cool.
It's multiplayer up to 4 people.
Nice.
Now, you cannot play this game legitimately anymore. The game is no longer supported. But a bunch of fans got together and did something called Rusty Hearts Revolution.
Okay.
Which is them running their own Rusty Hearts server.
Neat.
So, it's really interesting where they're going with it. My attention is on Monsters and Memories and Pantheon. Pantheon, I believe, is like a
Shut your door and go away.
like a mythical League of Legends, I believe. I think it's a
Okay.
MOBA, if memory serves. I don't know Monsters and Memories, though. So there is that.
Yeah.
But no, Blizzard Activision is really screwed around. They often release the same game every year with even the most minor of changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Monsters and Memories are an isekai exploration-based game with a focus on climbing and teamwork.
Okay.
Okay. I've heard quite a bit about Genshin Impact, quite a bit.
Now, Genshin Impact is one of those, like, holy crap, we want to milk you for every dollar we can get out of you games.
Yeah.
Jenny, go to bed.
But I did hear you can play it without doing that.
Yes, you absolutely can. You can grind and get the stuff you need from other means.
Pantheon is the isekai.
Okay.
So, my bad. What was I
Hey,
thinking
go
that
to
was the
bed.
MOBA then? Smite. Smite was the MOBA.
Oh, I've heard of Smite.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I know. No, I fucked that up.
Rose, I'm missing some things that I don't have time to help you right now. You know how to go get water yourself. Rose, out of the kitchen.
Monster Memories is, I don't know, a fantasy MMO with low poly work, very classical feel. It was great. Okay, cool. Nothing wrong with that. I don't care about whether or not the expedition center is damaged. Because I can repair that. I do want to get the fossil storage up, though.
Attention to detail can be the difference between life and death.
Did I do that right? Was it?
And sweat the small
Nope,
stuff.
it wasn't fossil that. What was it?
Hopefully, the healthier the dinosaurs are, the less likely we'll have
wasn't fossil
behavioral
storage.
issues like
Maybe
breakouts.
I think it was
Content
extraction
dinosaurs are the kind we
capacity.
can manage.
Yep, there it is. 17. There we go. All right. I am sad about the Blizzard thing though because of several reasons. One, I would love to finish StarCraft 2.
Sure, yeah.
I've played Wings of Liberty and I've played Heart of the Swarm. I've yet to get to play Legacy of the Void.
Yep.
And I want to do it. I want to finish the game.
Totally understand that.
Yeah, because that was a fun game. StarCraft is a very well-designed game.
Yeah, I have always enjoyed StarCraft.
I have tried playing it online. I actually spoke with a local guy here who is semi-pro in StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
And he said I did fairly well. I had a good APM. I knew my strats. I knew what I was doing. He said the only problem I had was I was not aggressive enough. Because he was playing Zerg and I was playing Terrans. And my Marine Marauder Medevac ball could have won the game if I had pushed at one particular point in the match.
I see.
And I didn't do it because I was playing too cautiously. Some dude randomly posted his game in Redbeard's Discord called Aaron Schnorr. It's a single-player game set in an MMO world with NPCs who join your party and level up and fight with you and roll for loot and everything. There are guilds and raids, and you have to spend time gearing your guild up just like real life. It's nuts, the scope of the guy's game, and he's near release. That would be cool as hell. So it's a single-player game that you're in an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that reminds me of? And I hope it does better, though, than the game series that I'm about to mention. Dot Hack.
Oh, yeah.
Dot Hack's games were... I love the story. The gameplay was absolute garbage.
Mm.
And that makes me sad because there's so much they could have done with it. And they didn't. It was just like, God damn, that hurts.
Alright, I am going to mark this place with a waypoint because that is a meteor.
Alright, so I'm going to see if I can find this Ellen Shore thing. Yeah, Dot Hack did a great disservice to the IP. If the game had been cooler, more people would have been invested in the anime. See, I got into the anime majorly. Oh, apparently there's a free demo you can get.
Cool.
Oh my god. You know what these graphics remind me of? The original Ultima.
Oh, wow.
That
takes me back.
The old Ultima Online graphics. I'm like, I'm getting nostalgia from this.
Oh, you Ultima Online. When you said original Ultima, I was thinking further back than that.
The 3D Ultima.
Yeah. That's not where my mind went because I'm old.
So am I, damn it. You're not that much older than me.
Classic Ultima.
Yeah, the old Ultimas. But no, it has like the late RuneScape, early Ultima graphics. So that's cool as hell. I'll check it out later. I might get the demo at some point and give it a shot.
Well, RuneScape is another big one for a lot of folks.
Oh yeah, that brings back memories.
I was never a RuneScape guy, but yeah, that is definitely one that has a lot of fond memories for folks.
Squidgy goes stairs and grumpy old man. We love you, Squidgy. It's okay.
Transportation underway.
Oh, I feel bad now.
Let's see. I'm gonna throw all the...
AP, I tried RuneScape for a bit and I liked it a lot. Yeah, RuneScape was fun, though there was one guy who broke the system in RuneScape and actually won money because of it.
Okay, I'm good. Not losing my shit anymore.
So what he did was, while everybody was, they do this one server thing where for, I think it was a day or something, they would start a new server, everybody had to basically get on it, the server would only last a day, and whoever survived at the end of the server basically won money. And they would keep restricting the zone and restricting it. And by the zone restriction, it would be if you were outside the safe area, you would take damage.
Oh, so sort of like Fortnite does.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing. This one guy realized they messed up on something. Because they banned a lot of things that you couldn't do in order to keep the game mode to be combat. This man fished like crazy.
Our job is to remain ever vigilant.
And then during the PvP event, like normally you're only allowed to have so much items on you. He would take all the fish he caught, give it to a banker, and turn it into fish script. So that way, whenever he turned it back into the banker, he would get a fish. Alright?
Okay.
And he sat there, I think it was cooking fish or something, but he was constantly eating fish, sitting in the cloud of death.
Okay.
And he literally won the game that way.
Because we know the
Wow.
dinosaurs will give no quarter.
Now, from my understanding, he eventually was
Informed he's not allowed to do this.
yeah, he was informed he was basically how do I put this?
Soft ban.
He was not permitted to have done that, and that that basically he was gonna have that removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the GM nuked him eventually. The GM went, "Nah, you're not allowed to do this. Epic spell of death. You now."
Asset has been delivered.
So it was rather amusing that the GM just was like, "Fuck this man in particular." Boom.
I mean, I love that kind of exploit.
Oh yeah, it was funny that when it happened, but at the same time, I get why they did it.
Sure.
But it was just like, oh my god. Another dead dinosaur. Where is this dead dinosaur? Which one is it? A Dryosaurus. Oh, okay, I put a bunch of them in there. So, like, here's the funny thing. You would think every single Battle Royale game, after seeing that, he was denied the prize, but the mod for him, but the mod for the community or something, thought he won legitimately and paid the prize privately. Yep.
Because he did win it. He just won it in an unorthodox manner.
Yeah, he won it in an unorthodox manner. So, yeah. But you would think every single Battle Royale game would have learned the lesson from RuneScape.
Nope.
Nope. Every single Battle Royale game has made a similar mistake. That includes Fortnite, that includes Warzone, that includes a game called The Stranded or something, I forget what it's called. Oh no, The Calling. The Calling. Like, all these games that all have the same mechanic of the cloud closing in and restricting you, making the people fight, have forgotten to nerf healing in a way to where you can't out-heal the cloud.
Yeah.
It is just like, they've all made that mistake. Now, mind you, they've all fixed that mistake shortly after realizing it existed. But they have all made it. Which,
yeah, sometimes when you're programming, you just don't really accurately estimate how much of a bastard your average player is going to be.
Yeah. It's just like, why? Why is this a thing? It's just, oh my god, it's wild.
My favorite exploit I've ever discovered was honestly on a mush that I was on, and they had implemented this little, gambling system. It was basically a slot machine for the virtual currency that was used in the game.
All right.
It's like, all right, cool. And the first mistake they made is classic if you don't really understand how casino gambling works. The important thing about every game you play at a casino is that the odds always have to be weighted at least slightly towards the house. Because otherwise, if you've got 50-50 true coin flip odds, you can basically just out-persist the system, usually. Now, that can be tricky, and you can gamble and lose, but it's basically, okay, I bet $1. I lost the $1, okay, I'll bet $2. Okay, I lost the $2, I bet $4. And basically, as soon as you win one of the coin flips, you're up $1, and you reset, and you start at $1. This is, not a huge deal. The problem was, we are in a digital medium, and they made sure that you could not bet more than you have, but you could bet less than you have. And what I mean by that is they forgot to bounds check. So you could bet -10. And if you lost, you'd win 10. Because it would just go, oh, you bet -10, I'll flip the sign on that and take away minus 10, so you effectively get plus 10. And it was just like the most basic. It's like programming 101. Always assume the person putting in the data is a bastard.
Yeah.
And yeah, just one of my favorite little glitches that I've ever run into. And of course, once I discovered it, I notified the team. They're like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty cute."
Yeah. Whoops.
I've got a new objective I need you to tackle.
Yeah, it's like, oh no. Oh my god. Yeah, AP, history repeats itself until we learn from it. Sometimes we don't even do that.
Exactly.
Alright. Do I have enough for this yet?
Alright, let me see.
I'm trying to get the Mosasaurus, and I don't have that quite yet.
Filter upgrade, blasting upgrade, deposit upgrade.
Alright, what else do we got? Oh, we got you and you. What's going
Battery
on?
upgrade.
Oh, maybe it's under this, I think it is, isn't it? Yep, there it is. I need these two. Because I want the advanced equipment. Alright, so you
can't make either of those yet. Damn. Okay.
Alright, you. There we go. Rest. Oh, God. Okay, so what are screw-ups have we gotten to hear about recently in gaming? Aside from Wizards' near constant screw-ups.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about ad nauseum. I feel like we're probably going to focus on the video game side this time.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Zinnia, hey, lurking. I appreciate the lurk. Thank you. I like lurkers. Lurkers make me happy. Because you're still here. You're still trying to help. Jimab, lurk. That's cool. Thank you for the lurk.
Yep. Lurks are very welcome.
Yep. Oh, okay. Let's see what our fun video game shenanigans have happened recently. I'm trying to remember them all.
Let me think. I did hear, and this relates to one of our favorite pastimes, that Paradox behind Stellaris has actually been raising the prices on some of the existing DLC.
Well, that's not a bright thing.
No, it seems very strange to me that you would want to discourage people from getting into the game. But
Yeah.
I mean, the logic theoretically behind it is that, well, because of the stuff that's been added since, these DLC do more. You know, you get more out of them, and I'm like, I mean, I kind of can see that argument, maybe.
Maybe, but that's...
I still think that you're better off leaving the price where it was, so people don't feel like you're trying to screw them over.
I mean, I'm surprised by Gamer Nexus is calling the Linus Tech team for being unprofessional and ethically questionable in a 45-minute video. Not really gamer news, but strictly, though. Pop Smurf, hey, Ruby, I'm out here chilling. Hey, Papa Smurf. We talked about that warning earlier, so just a heads up, there's a major hacking. We'll have you muted, just finishing up some work stuff. Much love to you. Okay, no problem, man. I'll try to catch up with you later about the hacking issue with COD, because I know quite a few people in the village play COD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just never been a first-person shooter guy, and I've never really been... Honestly, I don't even like multiplayer that much. I am right now chilling to the max on a solo Minecraft run and having the time of my life. So, yeah, I feel for the people who crave the multiplayer and have, unfortunately, to deal with that kind of stuff that's going on.
Yeah. It's really shitty when that kind of shit happens.
Yep.
It's like, well, why can't you fix this?
All right, let me see. Where does redstone ore generate? It generates at Y16 and lower.
Okay.
I can probably get down there.
Yep. Oh boy. Well, I am glad a lot of people are showing up for this discussion because this was something that needed to be spread.
Yeah, I would love to see, more people aware of this. And just in a broader sense, cybersecurity, always try to keep your shit up to date. Always be careful. There are people out there that are just waiting for a shot at stealing your information, and always exercise common sense.
Yeah. Because there are so many people out there who will basically rob you of your shit. If given even the slightest chance.
Yeah, I encourage everybody to educate themselves about what they can do to, protect themselves from a cybersecurity perspective, because it is, the most important thing you can do from a security. It may even be, depending on where you live, more important than a lock on your front door. Just because there's so many people out there trying to strip mine your information so they can steal your identity, make credit cards. It's honestly a lot easier and safer for a criminal to try to do that than it is to, try breaking into a place and risk potentially getting shot or something.
All right, so K-Ham has asked, should I buy a 100 hertz monitor for like $70? Is that a good price for that? That's a good question.
I mean, in terms of, you said $70?
Yeah, $70.
I mean, that seems reasonable. Depends on the other specs, I think, like the size, usually.
Yeah, like what size are we talking here? Because that matters. Because that could be a really good price, or that could be a really shitty price.
I would say, broadly speaking, if it's a decent brand, $70 is not out of the ordinary for a monitor.
All right, so you said 21-inch.
21-inch?
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair price.
Is it like a name brand, or is it, some kind of off-brand?
Grim is dancing. He's dancing! Yeah, Alright, that's one thing that's different between me and Gamera. I will say, thank you for the check-in, Grim. I appreciate those check-ins. Is I do play first-person shooters. Gamera does not. Alright. Now, do I like every first-person shooter? Nah. Wyzen is correct. It does depend on your PC specs. Because if your PC can't handle 100 hertz, there's no point in getting it.
I mean, that is true. You also have to consider your video card.
Picking up asset.
Yep. So there is that. But yeah, I'm glad though that Fortnite hasn't had to deal with that same hacking problem. Their big hacking problem right now is aimbots and X-ray hacks, which is standard for any first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like, there are always going to be hackers messing around, getting around the system, things of that nature. Now, Fortnite has been not terrible about it. So, there is that. I just let my coworker know about the hacking issue. Awesome. I don't know that company. That's a company I've never heard of.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I would probably read reviews of the company's product See if it's something that people generally have a good opinion of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my hand. Someone just asked in the Smurf Village, it goes, does anyone want to play Fortnite? And Papa Smurf replied, I suck. And I'm like, yeah, I suck at Fortnite too. I am... the game I'm supposed to be beta testing has now finished downloading.
Nice.
Alright, so one fun classic game, okay? And Gamera will agree with me on this.
Oh, yes. And this relates back to EA, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, because EA has practically killed this fucking company. Command & Conquer.
Yeah.
I love me Command & Conquer. I'm not the best at it, but I enjoy it. I have fun with it. I do dumb shit with it. I'm the guy that throws like several hundred little machine gunner dudes at the flame tank just to see how many it takes to take down the flame tank.
Yeah.
Welcome, traveler.
Sociopath.
Welcome, Dino Grasp, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern.
It's okay. Fireball the tavern.
Excuse me. But EA killed Command & Conquer. Let's be brutally honest.
Yeah, I mean, they've made collections available of the old games that have been updated to function on newer hardware. That is the extent of what they've done to maintain the franchise recently in the last 15 years.
Yep, but there is one downside with it. And if you remember, they don't do multiplayer.
Don't they?
No. Remember, Red Alert lost its multiplayer. All of them. All the old Command & Conquers lost their multiplayer. The only one that has it is remastered right now.
Oh.
Generals is gone too.
I thought the remastered package had I thought it had at least multiplayer for like Red Alert.
When I say Red Alert, I'm talking about Red Alert 1, 2, and 3, not the one that's included in the remaster.
Okay.
But because remember, we were supposed to play 3, and then suddenly the multiplayer disappeared.
Yeah, I don't remember that specifically, but that's just because I've had other stuff going on.
Yeah, I remember that because that's why we ended up playing Broforce.
Gotcha.
Because we couldn't play Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. We were originally going to do a co-op of the campaign of Red Alert 3. Just for the absolute silliness of it. Because we all need to experience Tim Curry basically being a psychopathic Russian in our lives.
Yeah, you can't do co-op multiplayer. I think you can do versus multiplayer.
Not on 3.
Not on 3?
I
Okay.
tried.
Okay.
All multiplayer is gone.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Okay. Yeah.
Because 3 was... If you guys have never experienced Red Alert 3, the audience, if you guys have never done so, get your hands on it, play the single player, alright? Or watch someone play it, alright? And experience the absolute dumbass, silly bullshit this game does.
All the voice actors know that this is over the top.
It's not even voice actors, they're on camera.
All the actors know that this is stupid, over the top,
Yep.
and they're getting paid way too
Yeah.
much to do this.
Pretty much every professional actor, it's no longer tagged as multiplayer, but it has the multiplayer, player tag multiplayer still. Okay. Yeah. But no, play the game, see the weird, dumb bullshit the game throws around, because it's silly, it's absurd. You can tell every actor who's a professional major actor realizes that the game is just there for the absolute cheese and the ham. And
yeah, Tim Curry does an amazing job.
Yeah, he hams it up to like, there's no limit to the ham on that one. Same thing with Gene Simmons.
Is Gene Simmons in that?
Yes, he's President Ackerman.
Oh. Huh. I don't think I remembered that.
Yeah, I want to say he's in it. I might be remembering the wrong actor, but let me double check. Red Alert 3 President actor. Who is it? Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Sorry.
You said Gene Simmons.
Whoops.
Really different guy.
My
Very
bad.
different guy.
It's the Whiplash guy. Yes, it's the Whiplash guy. J.K. Simmons is the president.
Okay. That tracks with what I was vaguely remembering.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons is the lead singer of Kiss.
Oh, no, my bad. I was looking for a member of Kiss. Oops. We already mentioned Tim Curry. George Takei is in there.
Ham extraordinaire.
Yep. He's hamming it up too. Like, oh my god. Alright, let's see. Let's see who else was in it, because there's a bunch in here that were just kooky, crazy, insane. Gina Carrero was in there. Gemma Atkinson, Kelly Hu, Jenny McCarty, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. All those female names I just named, all of them apparently took this role way too seriously. They didn't do the ham. Alright? But, like, there's also Jonathan Pryce. Now I want Gene Simmons in a game. I think he's in several games, actually. That wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, Gene Simmons has also been in several movies, and he is... Woo!
Yeah. But Jonathan Pryce is also in there, and he's like the British guy. I wonder if, let's see, Gene Simmons, IMDb. Let's see if he's been in any video games. Oh yeah, he's been in a lot of shit. Let's see. In any video games. Let's find out. He is credited on 16 games.
Oh, give us some titles.
Alright, you ready? Let's go. I am going to go with, let's start at the top. Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy.
Huh.
Rocksmith 2014 edition. Madden 2015, Madden 25, Madden 12, Madden 12 again. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Guitar Hero. No duh there. Tony Hawk's Underground. Kiss Pinball. And Kiss Psycho Circus The Nightmare Child. It's AP's like, asking ye shall receive. Yes. And Wise, and thank you for helping K-Ham there. AP's like, I want $1 million, please. I wish. I'm broke, man.
I will tell you that I have seen Gene Simmons in some truly awful movies, too.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
There is one... Oh, God. I forget. I'm going to have to look up the name of it after I get out of combat with a skeleton. But he plays... and this is an early 80s portrayal, so it is not politically sensitive at all. He plays a transsexual villain. And he is opposed by John Stamos as a young James Bond type. And it must be seen to be believed.
Oh.
Transporting asset.
As bad as that is, it cannot be as bad as the worst game in existence. Oh god, who are the actors in that game too? Let's see who we got. Okay, let me put it this way. The game is so bad, only one person has their picture associated with the game. Everybody else is a grayed out picture. That should say something.
Starring such luminaries as no one you've ever heard of.
Apparently. Janine Bassone is the only person who you may have heard of in the game called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Ooh, block of raw silver. Yes, please.
Okay, yep. I know what kind of actress this is, and I can't talk about it on stream.
Not even allowed to say the word?
Yep.
Can't say the P word?
Can't say the P word. Let's just say it's you have to be over 18 to enjoy it. It's that kind of worker. So, yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, she's the only picture. Jesus.
Well, I'm sure she worked very hard for a long time on this game.
All right. You ready for a screw
Go ahead.
You ready for a gaming screw-up that was also kind of fun?
Sure.
But it ended up originally, it was the company that was in trouble, but then the voice actress got into trouble.
Oh, okay.
The Bayonetta debacle.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, that needs to be brought up. All right. Look, we all can agree voice actresses and voice actors do not make enough money.
No.
For the amount of work they end up having to do.
Absolutely true. Pay them better.
All right.
Acknowledging asset collection request.
But here's the problem. Helena Taylor, I think that's her name.
I believe that's correct.
Basically took on Nintendo and Platinum Games and said that the reason why she was let go is because she criticized them for how much she was making. Saying that she was only offered $4,000 for her role as Bayonetta.
And that was a lie.
That was a lie, because she made almost that much per session that she recorded. She made roughly about 5 times that, actually.
Yeah.
For the equivalent of, I think it was like 2 months of work.
Yep.
Like 2 months of work, she made 20 grand.
That's pretty good compensation.
Yeah, that's pretty good compensation. And then the reality of why she was let go also came out, because Platinum was like, look, we kept this quiet, then you pulled this bullshit, so now we're going to let loose why we actually let you go, which was Helena Taylor's anti-abortion stance and being vocal about it.
Yeah, she has a toxic political persona.
What was that,
He'll
Rose?
be done at 9 and he'll go cuddle you at 9.
Yay.
I'll send him to you. If that means I kick him off the computer, I will at 9. But go.
I apparently have a time limit of 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You promised her last night.
I did. And I fucked up.
A pissed off small child.
So there is that. We already discussed the microtransactions of Diablo Immortal and basically Diablo fucking up. Then we got... then the next thing we got is Google Stadia shutting down randomly.
Ooh.
And nobody was warned about it.
I mean, I think most of us were like, the Google Stadia thing was not likely to last. Google actually has a surprisingly bad track record of anything other than their main product.
Yeah.
Fingers burning.
Apparently, Pokemon Legends Arceus graphics controversy. Apparently, their graphics got messed up like multiple times in the game.
Oh, I've been told that there's a good bit of glitchiness in that one, yeah.
Twitch also got into a gambling meta for a bit. That went bad.
One of the streamers that I follow, Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero, just did a YouTube video about how he got out of his Twitch contract because it just was no longer a place to stream that really was suiting his needs or the needs of the people he streams with. And so he and Twitch amicably parted ways.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, he still had a couple of years or something on his contract, and they agreed to let him out of it. But
what was that? Huh?
Yes, so he will continue to stream occasionally on Twitch. But the problem was, as long as he was under contract, he was exclusive, and he just wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, Twitch screwing up on so many things.
When doesn't Twitch fuck up?
Yeah. What else was there? Oh, speaking of Twitch and other odd and fun things, one of the Twitch's biggest streamers, Amaranth, released a product. All right. Mind you, it was a toy, so keep that in mind. But she released a limited amount of this toy. The problem was a bunch of people got together, bought pretty much her store out of it, and then took to the internet and scalped. Selling the same toy from what she was originally selling it for almost triple to quadruple the value.
Yeah. Scalpers are assholes.
Yep. And, like, I commented on her little post about it, and I was like, yo, I'm really sorry this is happening to you. It sucks. But welcome to any entertainment or novelty item.
Yeah.
It happens to everything.
Look at football tickets or baseball tickets.
Yeah, anything in a limited quantity, people just go nuts and like.
Right? No, doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we actually know someone here in town that used to be part of AmpGuard.
That does that shit.
He purposely does that shit. Because he sees it as a reasonable thing to do because it's capitalism, and he hopes to one day be one of the billionaires.
Yeah, if he's buying and selling collectibles, he's not going to be one of the billionaires.
Well, like, the best example I can give you is when the PS5 was doing, like, huge, and people were having trouble finding it. He had his buddy at the store sell him, like, a bunch of them. And then he marked up the price by, like, over 50% and was selling them online.
Yeah. I hope you're not on friendly terms with that guy.
Not particularly.
He's not the greatest.
In AmpGuard, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, AmpGuard is a live-action roleplay where you take foam weaponry and beat the everlasting bejesus out of each other.
While pretending you're something else.
While you're pretending you're something else, usually a warrior, a barbarian, some sort of D&D-like thing.
Wizard, what have you.
Yeah. All that jazz. I'm going to go over here so that way I can find someone on Twitch that we can raid. But AmpGuard is supposed to have both roleplay. Well, there are three aspects to AmpGuard: roleplay, crafting, and fighting. All right. I have always been of the mindset that I like the fighting, but I also like the roleplay.
You're not much of a crafter.
I'm not much of a crafter. I'm not good at it. All right, I'll be brutally honest.
PM Eastern Time Zone Standard.
But you have to have all three to make a park work.
Yeah, you have to have all three in order to keep a park alive. Okay? This gentleman in question, all he wants to do is fight. Nothing else is acceptable. If crafting's involved, it has to be crafting gear for more fighting. And roleplay is a hell no. You are not allowed to roleplay. Or if you do roleplay around him, he never participates and encourages everyone around him not to participate.
Man, now I'm getting curious as to who this guy is. Well, you'll have to tell me off stream what his name is.
Yeah, I'll tell you off stream. Let's see. Who are we got here? Zenzaya is playing Stardew Valley. Shit. And they showed up earlier. So fuck it. Let's rate them.
Absolutely.
I love some Stardew Valley. Non-Byron King says, get Swifty. Alright. Alright, so that's gonna be the stream for today. So please stick around. We're gonna be rating someone.
Nice.
Thank you, Wizen. One last
well-timed
face hugger and fireball for the road. If you are one of my followers, please use the following raid message. If you are one of my subscribers, please use the following raid message when we go to raid Zinzia. Alright? I appreciate everybody being here. Please make sure you take care of yourself both mentally and physically. That is always important. It is always time for tea in my tavern, and I know you come to my tavern for the witty banter, the nice drinks, but you stay for my fuck-ups.
I'm watching you trying not to piss your pants when they send off the face.
Yep. So with that being said, I hope to see you tomorrow for Wildcard Wednesday, where I will be playing Dragon Age 2, and hopefully not fucking things up too badly. It is my first time playing through the game, though. And some people are having fun with me making my predictions of what's in-game, what's going on, and how to deal with it.
You want me to do what I did the last time you played Dragon Age of any variant?
What was that?
Look at you and tell you what the storyline is without ever playing?
No.
But why? That's fun.
Okay, so I need to make sure. There it is. Alright. So I'll hope to see you all tomorrow, okay? Toodles.
Toodles.